Today, we're diving deep into the AI revolution. We're going to talk about how it's made, who's in the driver's seat, and most importantly, what it means for you and me. So let's get right into it. Okay, so what's the big promise of AI? It's simple, really. It can give you back your time. Imagine it just handles all the tedious, repetitive stuff so you can focus on what really matters, the creative, innovative work that humans do best. But, and this is a big but, that exact same technology can flip the script. It can flood our world with fakes, making it almost impossible to know what's real anymore. And that's the razor's edge we're going to be walking today. All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the big picture, the double-edged sword of AI. Then we're going to get a little nerdy and zoom right into the guts of the technology itself. After that, we'll pull back out to see how this is all playing out in the real world with things like deepfakes, and we'll wrap up by talking about what this means for you and for all of us. All right, let's start with that first piece, the AI double-edged sword. Look, AI isn't just another app on your phone. It's a fundamental force that's already changing our world, creating these massive opportunities, but also some really profound risks. And this isn't some far-off future thing. It's happening right now. Just look at these numbers. An overwhelming majority of businesses expect AI to completely transform how they work. And it's not just about robots taking jobs. It's about changing the jobs we have. Think about it. A junior employee can now dive into high-level strategic work that used to be reserved for senior partners, all because AI is giving them a massive leg up. But like we said, there's always the other side. This same amazing transformation could carve a huge prosperity gap right through society. The people who know how to use these tools, they get a massive productivity boost. But what about everyone else? They risk getting left further and further behind. We could be looking at a huge spike in inequality. So that leads to a pretty big question. If AI is this powerful, why don't we see it everywhere in the physical world? Why aren't there helpful robots in every home? Well, that's because there's a huge technical hurdle we need to get over first. And here's the paradox that's driving researchers crazy. You can show an AI a picture, and it can describe it with perfect poetic detail. But if you ask a robot arm running that exact same AI to just pick up the object in the picture, it fails. A lot. It's a total disconnect. So what's going on here? Well, researchers have a name for this: the semantic control gap. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Semantics is about describing what something is. Control is about knowing how to interact with it. And it turns out there is basically zero connection between the two in today's AIs. They're two totally different skill sets. This really breaks it down. An AI looks at this and goes, that's a red apple. Easy. That's semantics. But what it doesn't get is the physics. It has no clue how much it weighs, how easily it bruises, or just the right amount of pressure to pick it up without turning it into applesauce. To get to the next level, AI has to understand the real world, not just describe a picture of it. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we bridge that gap between words and actions? Well, let's go inside the lab and look at some of the seriously cool research that's happening right now. So the solution isn't just one thing. It's about combining a few brilliant ideas. First, there's something called Point World, which is all about getting AI to see the world in 3D, like we do, so it can actually understand physics. Then you have Mombox, which gives the AI a better memory, one that understands cause and effect. And finally, my favorite, the Digital Red Queen. This is where you make AIs compete against each other, forcing them to get smarter and more capable all on their own. And here's the magic of how it all connects. You have one AI, the planner, that comes up with a plan in plain English. Then another AI, the actor, has to figure out how to actually do that plan in a simulated 3D world. And all the while, the Red Queen is pushing them, making them compete and get better. The coolest part? They actually start to invent their own super efficient language, a language that perfectly connects a thought to a physical action. Okay, let's pull back from the lab, because all that seemingly abstract research, it has an incredibly important real-world job right now: fighting deep fakes. I mean, this is the question, isn't it? In a world just overflowing with AI images, can you actually trust anything you see online? The line between real and fake is getting blurrier by the second. But what if we could fight fire with fire? What if AI is not just the problem, but also the solution? That's exactly what tools like this are designed to do. You give it an image, and it acts like a digital detective, searching for the tiny little clues that scream, "This is a fake." So how does it even work? It's not just looking for weirdly drawn fingers anymore.
The best systems use that same Red Queen idea we just talked about. You have one AI, the attacker, that's constantly creating better and better fakes. And you have another AI, the defender, whose only job is to get better at catching them. The defender learns to see the physics, the impossible shadows, the weird reflections that give the game away. It's literally an AI arms race.
And this all leads to a really important shift. This kind of power, building, and training AIs, it's not just for giant tech companies anymore. It's moving into your hands. Believe it or not, pretty much anyone can create their own custom AI now. You don't have to be a coding genius. You can grab a powerful open source model, feed it your own specific information, and use free tools to train it. What you end up with is a personalized AI that's an expert on exactly what you want it to be. So why would you even want to do this? Well, the possibilities are huge. For a small company, it can be your secret weapon, your competitive edge. You can build niche tools that are actually better than the big one-size-fits-all models. You can even create an AI that reflects your own specific values or teach it to think and plan like an agent. The power really is shifting from the few to the many. Which brings us to our final and, honestly, our most important point. Because when it comes down to it, the future of AI isn't really about the technology. It's about us. It's about people. And we have to be real about the scale of the challenge here. Just think about this number, 2.6 billion. That's how many people aren't even online. They're completely disconnected from this entire revolution. We're talking about an AI divide that could become the biggest driver of inequality our world has ever seen. And even for those of us who are connected, who are building this stuff, the stakes are just as high. If the people creating AI all look the same and think the same, guess what? The AI will inherit all their biases and all their blind spots. It'll end up discriminating, it'll fail entire communities, and ultimately, people just won't trust it. You can't innovate for the whole world if the whole world isn't in the room. So that's the thought I want to leave you with. We are literally teaching a new kind of intelligence how to see our world. The question we all have to answer is, what world are we going to show it? Is it going to be a narrow, biased version, or will we show it a world that reflects the richness, the diversity, and the full potential of all of us? That choice is up to us.